this week we are in a Tesla Model 3 Performance. Now this thing is, honestly, it is an absolute rocket. When you think of electric car, you think immediately of Tesla. And for me, it used to be the Model S that you'd think of, and then obviously the Model X came out, the big sort of 4x4 one, and then the Model 3. Now this is the top of the range Model 3, the Performance, so it is so unbelievably fast. It does 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, does 162 miles an hour. It is absolutely ludicrous, to use Tesla's word that they use for their launch modes. It is genuinely ludicrous. There's a couple of things in here that I don't like. I don't like the regenerative braking, but it's something that I'm sure that you'd get used to. I got in this car yesterday, having got out of a normal combustion engine car, and I drove it like a normal combustion engine car. You come off the throttle pedal onto the brake pedal. You can't drive these like that. You have to tickle the throttle at all times, because if you come off the throttle, that's it braking for me. We've just gone from 50 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, 35, 33, and that's no braking whatsoever. So you find yourself driving at sort of a slight tickle of throttle everywhere you go. When you want to brake, you just come straight out of the throttle, and you very, very rarely seem to use the brake unless you really need to, or unless you're on it. With the Performance, you obviously get random things like like track mode, etc. I mean, I'd like to meet the person that's going to take one of these on track, because for me it's just not the sort of car that you take on track. You get the lovely bigger wheels, the turbine style wheels that look really smart. This colour is absolutely beautiful. It's got, you know, it's got more layers of paint. That's a couple of grand extra as well. This car, as tested, is just over £66,000. And I actually don't see that as being, that's not outrageous for me. It really isn't. With all the tech that's in here, it's actually, that's an acceptable amount of money. With everything else on the marketplace, you're talking sort of, what, RS3 sort of money, that sort of thing. Some of the infotainment system, unless you've had a lesson in it, is pretty confusing. But it's beautifully laid out, and it's exceptional the way, you know, it's so responsive. It's like driving a massive iPad. But as someone that doesn't, you know, that yesterday literally I got thrown the key and told, here you go, off you go. It just sort of, to change the radio, to change the things, you have to sort of, you end up going through quite a few sub-menus, which, again, when you know where it is and how to work it, it would be an absolute dream to use. What do we think of the interior? I really like the interior. I think it's futuristic. I think it feels like it's going to stand the test of time really well. These sort of faux leather seats, even though they are the brightest white I have ever seen on anything, they don't seem to mark, which is incredible. I don't know how they've done that. You can get this in black or with the white interior. I do like the white interior. It makes it feel very airy in here with the enormous panoramic roof. It's got two lovely little places here for your phone, which are sort of Alcantara or suede, which mean that you put your phone there, it charges wirelessly, and there's one for your passenger. I think it's a really nice little touch. The bins in here are enormous. There's one down there, there's one here, which is a vast cavernous space. Ow! So moving on to the driving dynamics of the Tesla Model 3 Performance, it's so fast and so impressive the way you have all of the torque from zero, and you just ride this wave of electricity towards the horizon. It is immense. It really is immense. I can't think of anything else. Like this, on paper, has a 0 to 60 time that's better than an RS6, a new RS6, or, you know, just shy of a Porsche Turbo. I mean, that is mind-bendingly incredible. The other things in here, the steering, it's quite numb, and you can play with it in the, you know, everything is adjustable in here. So if we go into here, we can look at the steering. Right, so where do we want that? We go into driving, and you can have it on, accelerations in sport at the moment or chill. You can have steering in comfort, standard or sport. I like it in the comfort mode because I think the comfort mode is the nicest for the way the Tesla drives. I think standard, it just gets a little bit artificially heavy, and sport mode for me is just not for me. I prefer it because it just feels like it won't come off center as nicely and as crisply as you want it to. And seeing as everything in this car is electric, I just like to leave it feeling electric in the comfort mode. I'm perfectly happy with that. The Pirelli P0s that this car's on feel exceptional because the way this car goes around corners is alarming. It's so much better than I was expecting it to be. Dynamically, the ride is comfortable, it is usable on an every single day basis, and that is, at the end of the day, what this car is for. It is, the way it goes around corners, it's agile, it's insanely good, it's very, very impressive. This car has got the Autopilot, the enhanced Autopilot, which is a £6,800 option, and it's so clever. All you can see on here is just remarkable. I mean, it's like driving a spaceship. When you get in it, of course, you've got no dash in front of you. It's all just here to the left-hand side of the steering wheel. And it's just, it knows everything. It knows how close I am to the curb. It knows when there's a car coming towards me. It knows when there's a person. It knows all of the cameras and the sensitive cameras that are up here on the windscreen are just, it's amazing. I like this car a lot, and I have an enormous amount of respect for it, and I think it is an incredible feat of engineering, and hats off to Tesla for making something that is as exceptional as this car is. If you are going to think about going and buying one of these, don't even think twice. Go out. If this is the sort of thing that you want to buy and drive on a daily basis, it is superb. But do you think that a white one, now I'm going to say this, and when I've said it, you're going to now think about it and probably hate me for it. But do you think the white one looks like a Dove bar of soap? I do. And people will hate me for that. But I just don't think they're particularly special to look at. I do like this one, in this colour, with the black wheels, the matte black wheels. It's the best one I've seen. And it's the one I've liked the most. But I just can't get excited about the way they look. I really can't. I think the Polestar is a better looking car. I know that is all subjective. So subjectively, in your comments when I say that I don't like the look of it, it is ridiculously fast though. It is ridiculously fast. It's like owning an iPhone for me, this Tesla Model 3 Performance. It's like owning the iPhone 13 Pro Max Enormous or whatever it's called these days. It is an exceptional piece of technology that works absolutely brilliantly. But I don't love it. It's one of those things. It's a really, really clever, good thing and piece of kit. But for me, as a petrol head, as someone that adores cars, I don't love it. I appreciate it. Yes, the acceleration is insane. Would that get boring? I mean, in isolation, just doing that off traffic lights is just hilarious. You come up against someone in an M3 or something and you make them look like a complete fool. I think it's something that, I think the one I would have potentially is the long range one, which gives you a range of 360 miles. This one has a range of, I think, 320 odd miles. Is the infrastructure there? I know Tesla have the best infrastructure out there for electric cars. I went and charged this yesterday. It had 30% battery left. I needed to get it to 80%. Did it on the supercharger. It cost £12.90 or something. Got up to 80% and it took 25 minutes. That is acceptable. But I don't have the sort of time to be able to sit there every single day if I'm doing long journeys. This one has a range of, say, 320 miles. The long range one that starts at about 49,950 or something £1,000 has a range of 360 miles. Now that's more acceptable for the sort of things that I do on a daily basis. I drive a lot. I need long range. Does it work for me? I don't know. I would like an electric car as well as my combustion engine cars. I know that sounds greedy, but I would. What do we all think in the comments? Obviously, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. If you like this video, please do like it and subscribe at the same time whilst you're there. Ring the little bell so you know when we make a film and post a film. There's loads of stuff coming. It's, you know, we've actually got a Polestar coming next week, and I'm really interested to see what the Polestar 2 is like back to back with driving this. The regen braking though does make me feel unwell.